And here to talk about the 2020 presidential election is Owen, Trevor, and Jack. Let's meet our panel. Why don't you guys tell us about yourselves?
I'm Trevor Simpson, second year in journalism, and I am a staff writer for The Lantern.
My name is Owen Kahn. I'm a fourth year in journalism, also staff writer for The Lantern.
And I'm Jack. I'm a second year in journalism. I'm not a staff writer for The Lantern yet.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, guys, for coming here. Trevor, was there a single candidate who really blew you away in the debate on Thursday?
No, but if I had to pick one, polling on 538 showed that Elizabeth Warren, Beto O'Rourke, and Pete Buttigieg did the best. And I don't think anyone particularly stood out. I think Beto O'Rourke had the best moment of the debate when he was talking about gun control. But other than that, I don't think a single candidate really stood out to me.
Do you think that's going to help him at all in the presidency?
I don't think he's close enough to win the presidency. I personally think it's a three-person race between Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren. But he's making a good case for a VP right now.
I respect it. So, Owen, were there any candidates that you think suffered a setback on Thursday?
Tavian, can I call you that, Tavian?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not watch the debate.
That's fair. Did you hear any news, anything that might have caught your ear?
I heard Beto went off.
You went off. I respect it. And then finally, Jack, were there any panelists or candidate that you thought you wanted to hear more from?
To be honest, I also didn't watch the debate, but I feel like I could have learned a little bit more from Castro when he went after Biden. I want to know why he did that a little bit more and what his motives were there.
Trevor, do you remember what happened?
I do remember what happened. Thanks for asking, actually. So Biden was talking about his healthcare plan, and I don't remember the specifics, but Castro went right after Biden when he was called upon to speak, and quite frankly called out Biden for his recollection, going at his age, going at his memory, and polling isn't looking good for Castro. That was an unsuccessful jab for him.
That's fair. A lot of people do have a similar opinion and with Biden and his name's not coming right now, with Biden and Bernie Sanders, that they're both a little old. And do you think that a lot of people feel the same way?
I don't think so, because Biden and Sanders are both still leading in the polls. Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt they're old.
They are old
They're
people.
old as hell.
They're
but,
old people.
I think Bernie, Biden, they're still up there. I mean, they still got it going on.
I think the key difference is that Biden seems out of it in the debates. I think that this past debate was his best debate, and his teeth fell out while he was talking. So I think his age is showing more than Sanders.
There's also some word of mouth going around that Biden still thinks record players are cool. Do you guys agree with that?
I think so. Record players are pretty cool. I think so.
In like a vintage way, or just
In a vintage,
cool?
yeah, like a vintage vinyl way. Pretty cool.
Okay, I respect it. So then, actually, there was something else about Andrew Yang that was discussing giving out, was it about $1,000 a month to about, 12 families?
10 families.
10 families?
Yeah.
Do you what was the reasoning behind that?
He's trying to make a splash, and it was interesting. He was talking about it before the debate, really trying to get people to tune in. I don't think he really followed it up that well. He doesn't really get much time to speak. You asked a question about who you would like to hear more from. I think he deserves a little bit more time to speak, but that's an interesting strategy.
Yeah. I mean, is that even legal, honestly?
It kind of seems like he's trying to test the water with giving people a sort of a minimum income, sort of as I believe some Scandinavian countries have done in Europe, is paying people a minimum amount of money per month to kind of keep them afloat,
Gotcha. I feel like that's something that might not go off just the way that America is kind of set up with our government system. And
Probably not.
Gotcha.
Let me ask you something, Tavian. What did you think of the debate? Any standouts for you?
Honestly, the way that I see it, it's kind of really confusing how we just have, 11 candidates right now.
Yeah.
I just feel like it doesn't give the American people, or really democratic people in general, the opportunity just to really focus on a candidate and kind of figure out what policies really work the best for them. How about you guys? Do you guys have anyone that you're really rooting for right now?
Marianne Williamson.
I'm going to say Bernie.
Gotcha.
Yeah, probably Bernie.
Marianne Williamson, that's a name we don't hear a lot of. Can you kind of tell us why?
The people aren't ready for her yet. just unfortunately we live in a sexist society where, she's talking about girlfriend and people just don't want to hear it, and it's disgusting.
That's fair. I don't think people are ready for that conversation. There's a question going around of whether Amy Klobuchar is a person or a robot. Do we have any thoughts on that?
She's a robot.
She's a robot?
For sure.
Yeah? Do you have some evidence? Any thoughts?
I've never heard this person, so I'm going to throw a counter theory at you. Lizard person.
Lizard
Area
person.
51.
We
We've
were
been hearing a
supposed to
lot
storm
about
that.
it. It could be a cover-up for wherever this woman is from. I've never heard of her.
Did you storm Area 51?
I did not, unfortunately.
Do you know anyone who did storm Area 51?
No.
No? No? No one?
No one.
I respect that. So, I mean, the way that our Democratic, the way that these candidates are looking right now, who do we think our President VP ticket's going to look like?
I think it might be too early to say right now.
Yeah.
Like we said, we want to see Marianne Williamson, I think, in the presidential spot. Maybe, if, Bernie would be willing to take a VP spot, really let her take the reins. That'd be great, but
You know, Trevor, you mentioned Beto might have a pretty good idea or a pretty good chance of getting in the VP spot.
Yeah.
Who do you think would be the president above him?
That's a good question. It's a really good question.
Thank you.
I don't want to, concede Biden up here, but that might be someone he's compatible with. Just going off the president VP ticket question, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren have seemed to form a little coalition. They have similar ideals.
Yeah.
I don't know if either or would accept a VP position since they're running for president and they're both in the top three, but that'd be an interesting thing to see.
Do you think Bernie could be a VP? Do you think he'd secede a little bit
I
for it?
don't think he would do that.
I think his ideologies are a little too different from other candidates to be able to work with them correctly.
There's a lot of conversation about Biden being the safe choice since he's a face that we've been seeing for about 8 years plus. Do you have any thoughts on that? No? You don't agree?
I don't agree with that. He's running off of President Obama's coattails right now. He's not President Obama. He doesn't have the same fervor that Barack Obama has. Frankly, I think it's a little ridiculous.
So you think it's not really working for him?
I don't think it. Well, it's working for him. I don't think it should be.
Do you guys agree? Any thoughts on that?
I agree. I think Joe Biden, he's the status quo choice, there's nothing's going to change with Joe. Joe's got to go.
Put the camera on me. Joe Biden, more like no Biden.
Well, with that, thank you guys so much for your thoughts and opinions. It has been a pleasure. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we're going to be talking about football.